Your mind is the architect of your reality. What if every thought you had was shaping your future right now? Backed by science and ancient wisdom, this audiobook will show you how to rewire your mind, unlock limitless potential, and create the life you truly desire. Are you ready? Introduction. What if I told you that everything you've ever experienced, every success, every failure, every joy, and every struggle was created by your own mind? Pause for a moment. Let that thought sink in. Right now, as you listen to these words, your brain is processing them through a unique filter, the filter of your beliefs, past experiences, and subconscious programming. Two people can hear the exact same message, yet walk away with completely different interpretations. Why? Because reality isn't something that exists outside of you. It is something your mind constructs based on your perception. And here's the most powerful realization you'll ever have. If your mind has the power to create your current reality, it also has the power to transform it completely. This audiobook is not just about understanding how your thoughts shape your world. It's about taking control of that process. Right now, you are either the architect of your life or the byproduct of unconscious conditioning. Every thought you allow to take root in your mind is either working for you or against you, either pushing you toward your highest potential or reinforcing invisible walls that keep you stuck. But what if you could change that? What if you could break free from old mental patterns and reprogram your mind for success, abundance, confidence, and fulfillment? This is not just another self-help book. This is a manual for rewiring your brain and upgrading your reality. And by the time you finish listening, you'll have tools, techniques, and psychological strategies that will permanently shift the way you think, feel, and experience life. So, if you've ever felt like something was holding you back, if you've ever sensed that your potential was bigger than your current reality, this is your wake-up call. Because the truth is, your life will never change until your mind does. Are you ready? Let's begin. There's a reason you picked up this audiobook. Maybe you want more success, more happiness, or more control over your thoughts and emotions. Maybe you're tired of the same old patterns, self-doubt, procrastination, fear, or overthinking that have kept you from stepping fully into your power. Whatever brought you here, I want you to know something. This book was made for you. The purpose of this audiobook is simple, yet life-changing, to show you how to master your mind so you can master your reality. Too often, people believe that success and happiness come from external factors, more money, better relationships, the perfect career. But what if I told you that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world? That everything you experience, good or bad, originates from the patterns, beliefs, and thoughts that dominate your mind. I want you to imagine your brain as a supercomputer and your thoughts as the programming code. If you're running outdated, limiting, or negative programs, your life will reflect that. But if you upgrade your mental software, shifting your thoughts to be aligned with confidence, abundance, and resilience, your entire reality will transform. This book is here to help you make that shift. You will not only learn why your thoughts are so powerful, but also how to harness that power to create the life you truly want. Through science-backed strategies, mindset techniques, and actionable exercises, you'll gain the tools to reprogram your subconscious mind, overcome self-sabotage, and unlock your full potential. So, if you're ready to take back control, break free from limiting beliefs, and become the architect of your own destiny, then keep listening. Because what you're about to learn will change the way you see yourself, your potential, and the world around you. How your thoughts shape your reality. Here's a little-known secret. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Right now, if you close your eyes and vividly imagine biting into a fresh, juicy lemon, your mouth will start to water. Why? Because your brain reacts to what you focus on as if it's really happening. And this doesn't just apply to imaginary lemons. It applies to every single thought you think. Every day you are shaping your future through your thoughts. Whether you realize it or not, your mind is constantly reinforcing patterns, some that serve you and some that limit you. If you believe that, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never be successful," or "things never work out for me," your brain will seek out evidence to confirm that belief. It will filter your reality in a way that proves you right, blocking out opportunities and keeping you stuck. But here's the exciting part. The opposite is also true. When you shift your thoughts to "I am capable," "success comes easily to me," or "I always find solutions," your brain will start filtering your experiences to align with that reality. This isn't just motivational talk, it's neuroscience. Your reticular activating system, RAS, acts like a mental gatekeeper, focusing your awareness on whatever you tell it to. So, if you train your mind to seek opportunity, confidence, and solutions, you will start to see them everywhere. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas, they are instructions to your brain. And your brain, in turn, influences your emotions, decisions, and actions. The way you think determines how you feel, and how you feel determines what you do, and what you do determines what you achieve. This means that by changing your thoughts, you can change everything. What to expect in this audiobook. This is not just another book filled with abstract ideas. This is a transformation tool. It is designed to be a step-by-step blueprint for mastering your mind and upgrading your reality. Here's what you'll learn. The science of thought and reality. How your brain creates your experience and how to rewire it for success. The power of your subconscious mind. How to break free from old programming and install new, empowering beliefs. The role of perception in shaping your life. How your perspective creates your reality and how to shift it for limitless potential. Emotions, energy, and thought frequency. How to elevate your emotional state and attract more of what you want. Visualization, affirmations, and neuroplasticity. Proven techniques to reshape your mindset and turn your goals into reality. Mental resilience and overcoming challenges. How to develop unshakable inner strength to handle anything life throws your way. Sustaining your transformation. How to make these mindset shifts a permanent part of who you are. This book is your mental upgrade, your internal reset button, and your personal roadmap to success. And by the time you finish, you won't just understand the power of your mind. You'll be actively using it to shape your reality. The only question now is, are you ready to take control? If so, let's begin, because your new reality starts now. Chapter 1. The Science of Thought and Reality. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that everything you believed about reality was an illusion. The way you see yourself, the way you perceive others, the limits you've placed on your own potential. All of it. Nothing more than a carefully constructed mental framework shaped by years of conditioning. What if I told you that the world as you see it isn't the world, but your world? A reality molded by your thoughts, perceptions, and subconscious programming. It's a staggering idea, isn't it? But the latest research in neuroscience, psychology, and quantum physics all point to one undeniable truth. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. This isn't just a poetic or spiritual sentiment. It's a fact grounded in science. Every single second, your brain is bombarded with over 11 million bits of information. Yet your conscious mind can only process around 40 of them at any given moment. So, what happens to the rest? Your subconscious mind filters and organizes that information based on your beliefs, past experiences, and emotional patterns. In other words, reality isn't something happening to you. It's something your mind is creating in real time. Think about two people witnessing the same event. One sees a disaster, the other sees an opportunity. One person steps into a challenge with fear, another with confidence. The only difference? Perception. And perception at its core is dictated by thoughts. The way you think, consciously and unconsciously, acts as a filter between you and the world. The question is your filter empowering you or limiting you? But let's get deeper. How does a mere thought actually impact the physical world? Why do some people seem to effortlessly manifest success, happiness, and fulfillment, while others struggle endlessly despite working just as hard? The answer lies in the science of thought and reality, a powerful, yet often overlooked field that will transform the way you approach life from this moment forward. Before we dive in, I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, how much of my reality is based on fact, and how much of it is based on interpretation? The answer may surprise you. Your brain's hidden operating system, how thoughts shape perception. Your brain is not a passive receiver of reality. It is an active creator. Scientists have long proven that we don't experience the world objectively. Rather, we experience it subjectively through the lens of our past experiences, biases, and expectations. Think of your brain like a projector. Whatever is loaded into it, your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and emotions will be reflected outward as your experience. This is why two people can face identical circumstances, yet interpret them completely differently. Imagine two people walking into a crowded networking event. One is excited, eager to make new connections, believing this could be an opportunity for growth. The other is anxious, convinced that nobody will take them seriously, expecting rejection at every turn. They walk into the same room, but they don't walk into the same reality. This happens because of something called the reticular activating system, RAS, a tiny network of neurons in your brainstem responsible for filtering information and deciding what is important. The RAS essentially acts as a gatekeeper, showing you only what it expects to see. This means if you've trained your mind to believe opportunities are everywhere, your brain will actively seek out and recognize those opportunities. Conversely, if you believe life is unfair or nothing ever works out for me, your RAS will make sure you see evidence of exactly that. This is not magic. This is neuroscience. The brain is a pattern recognition machine, and it will always seek to confirm what you already believe to be true. It's why people stuck in toxic relationships tend to repeat the same cycle with different partners. It's why those who see themselves as failures subconsciously sabotage their own success. The mind will always find ways to prove itself right. So, ask yourself, what has my mind been proving right all these years? The science behind thoughts becoming reality. You've likely heard phrases like mind over matter or thoughts create reality. But what does science actually say about this? Surprisingly, the evidence is overwhelming. One of the most famous studies in neuroscience revealed that merely thinking about an action activates the same neural pathways as actually performing it. In a 1995 study conducted at the Cleveland Clinic Foundation, participants who visualized doing bicep exercises increased their muscle strength by 13.5% without lifting a single weight. Meanwhile, a control group who physically did the exercises saw a 30% increase. What does this mean? The mind alone can initiate real, measurable change in the body. Similarly, brain imaging studies show that when people repeatedly think about something, whether it's success, fear, gratitude, or failure, those thoughts rewire the brain by strengthening the neural pathways associated with them. This is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to physically restructure itself based on repeated thought patterns. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," those neural pathways grow stronger, making self-doubt your default state. If you habitually think, "I always find a way to succeed," those pathways grow instead, making resilience your automatic response to challenges. Over time, These thought patterns solidify into your identity, which then shapes your reality. And it doesn't stop there. A groundbreaking study at Princeton University found that human intention can influence external reality in ways that defy traditional physics. Researchers observed that the thoughts of test subjects affected the behavior of randomly programmed machines, suggesting that thought energy can directly impact the physical world. This is where things get exciting. If thoughts have the power to reshape the brain, influence the body, and even alter physical reality, then what's stopping you from creating the life you truly want? Your thoughts as the blueprint of your future. At this point, the question isn't whether your thoughts shape reality. The question is how intentionally you are using them. If you let your thoughts run on autopilot, driven by fear, doubt, and past conditioning, your life will reflect that. But if you learn to take control, rewiring your brain to support your highest potential, you can break free from old patterns and step into a reality of your own design. We've been led to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment are reserved for the lucky few, those born into the right circumstances or given special opportunities. That is a lie. The truth is, reality is an open canvas, and your thoughts are the brushstrokes. You are the artist. So, let me ask you, are you creating your masterpiece, or are you letting someone else hold the brush? Chapter 2. The Hidden Power of Your Subconscious Mind. What if I told you that 95% of your life is not being controlled by you? That the decisions you make, the habits you form, the way you react to situations, most of it happens without your conscious approval. In fact, long before you even realize you're making a choice, your brain has already decided for you. This might sound unsettling, but it's the truth. The vast majority of your actions, beliefs, and emotions are dictated not by your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks, analyzes, and plans, but by your subconscious mind, a powerful force operating beneath the surface, shaping your life in ways you can't even begin to imagine. The subconscious mind is like a silent architect, constantly building the structure of your life based on past experiences, deeply ingrained patterns, and unconscious programming. And yet, despite its immense influence, most people go through life completely unaware of its power. They struggle with the same issues over and over again, wondering why they can't break free from toxic habits, self-doubt, financial struggles, or failed relationships, never realizing that the real battle isn't happening outside of them, but within the hidden recesses of their mind. But here's the game-changing realization. Once you understand how your subconscious works, you can reprogram it. You can take back control, override limiting beliefs, and create a life that aligns with your highest potential. This chapter will reveal exactly how your subconscious mind has been shaping your reality all along, and more importantly, how to finally take the wheel and steer your life in the direction you choose. So let me ask you, are you truly in control of your life, or is your subconscious calling the shots? The conscious versus subconscious mind? Who's really running the show? To understand just how powerful the subconscious mind is, let's break down how your mind actually functions. Think of your mind as an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg, the small portion visible above the water, represents your conscious mind, the part of you that is actively thinking, making decisions, solving problems, and analyzing the world around you. It's responsible for logic, reasoning, and short-term memory. However, it only accounts for 5% of your total brain activity. Now, beneath the surface lies the massive hidden part of the iceberg, your subconscious mind, which controls a staggering 95% of your daily behaviors, emotions, and beliefs. This is where long-term memories, deeply ingrained habits, fears, and even your automatic bodily functions reside. Your subconscious is always working, storing information, running programs, and shaping your reactions, even when you're completely unaware of it. Here's what makes it so powerful. It doesn't distinguish between reality and perception. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I always mess things up," your subconscious will accept it as truth and make sure your actions align with that belief. It doesn't care whether something is helpful or harmful. It simply follows the programs it has been given. And most of these programs? They were installed long before you had the awareness to question them. How your subconscious mind was programmed without your permission. From the moment you were born, your subconscious mind began absorbing information like a sponge. Between the ages of 0 and 7, your brain primarily operated in theta waves, a highly suggestible state similar to hypnosis. This means you weren't just learning from your environment, you were being programmed by it. Every word spoken by your parents, every reaction they had to stress, money, love, and success, every experience that made you feel safe or unsafe, all of it was absorbed directly into your subconscious, forming the core beliefs that would shape your reality for years to come. If you grew up in a home where money was a source of stress, your subconscious may have developed a scarcity mindset, making financial success feel difficult or even impossible. If you constantly heard phrases like, "life isn't fair," or "people can't be trusted," those beliefs became embedded in your subconscious, influencing your relationships and opportunities. But here's the problem. Most people never update these beliefs. They continue to operate under subconscious programs that were written decades ago, programs that were created by other people based on their own fears, limitations, and experiences. And unless you consciously rewire them, these outdated programs will continue running in the background, dictating your life without you even realizing it. The subconscious in action. Why you keep getting stuck in the same patterns. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract success, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? It's not luck, it's subconscious programming. Your subconscious mind is designed to keep you in familiar territory, even if that territory is painful, toxic, or self-destructive. This is why people stay in bad relationships, sabotage opportunities, or repeat the same mistakes over and over again. The subconscious doesn't care about your happiness. It only cares about maintaining what is familiar. Let's say you were raised in a household where love was inconsistent or conditional. Even as an adult, you might find yourself unconsciously attracted to partners who are emotionally unavailable because that's what feels normal to your subconscious. Or perhaps you've always struggled with self-worth. Even if a great opportunity comes along, your subconscious will find a way to reject it, sabotage it, or downplay it, because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. This is why affirmations alone don't work. You can tell yourself, "I am successful" all day long, but if your subconscious believes, "I am a failure," it will override your conscious efforts every single time. The subconscious always wins. But here's the good news. You can reprogram it. You can overwrite the old software, install new beliefs, and create a subconscious blueprint that supports your success, happiness, and abundance. And once you do, you'll stop fighting yourself and start seeing effortless transformation. Rewriting your subconscious code. How to take back control. If you want to change your life, you must start where the real power lies, in the subconscious. Here's how. 1. Awareness is the first step. Start paying attention to your automatic thoughts, emotional reactions, and recurring patterns. What beliefs are running the show? What fears keep showing up? The more aware you are of your subconscious programs, the easier they are to change. 2. Use hypnosis and meditation. Because the subconscious mind is most receptive in a theta state, practices like hypnosis, guided meditations, and deep relaxation techniques can help you reprogram limiting beliefs at the core level. 3. Repetition and emotional impact. Your subconscious learns through repetition and strong emotional experiences. If you want to install new beliefs, you must reinforce them daily with conviction and feeling. 4. visualize and embody the new identity. Don't just think about the person you want to become. Feel it, act as if, and live it now. The more you align with your desired reality, the faster your subconscious will accept it as truth. 5. Change your environment. Your subconscious is constantly absorbing information from your surroundings. If you want new programming, expose yourself to new experiences, people, and environments that reflect the reality you want to create. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful tool you have, but it's up to you to decide whether it will work for you or against you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to permanently dismantle limiting beliefs and install an unstoppable success mindset. Because once you unlock the full power of your subconscious, nothing will ever be the same again. Chapter 3. Breaking the chains of limiting beliefs. What if the biggest obstacle in your life wasn't your circumstances, your lack of resources, or even the people around you? What if the real enemy lived inside your own mind, silent, unnoticed, yet dictating every decision you make? Imagine a bird raised in a cage since birth. Over time, the cage becomes all it knows. Even when the door is left wide open, the bird hesitates, unwilling to leave the safety of the familiar. It doesn't realize that its prison is no longer real. It only exists in its mind. Now let me ask you, how many open doors have you ignored because of the mental cage you built for yourself? Limiting beliefs are just like that cage. They are invisible walls, constructed from past experiences, fears, and the narratives we've been told, that quietly define what we believe is possible. These beliefs don't shout, they whisper. And because they've been part of our subconscious programming for so long, we rarely question them. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The quality of your life is directly tied to the beliefs you hold. If you believe you are unworthy of success, you will subconsciously sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. If you believe relationships always end in heartbreak, you will unconsciously push people away. If you believe money is hard to come by, you will make choices that keep you financially struggling. The scariest part? Most people will live their entire lives without ever realizing that the limitations they face were never real in the first place. They were simply a story they accepted as truth, but not you. Not anymore. This chapter will guide you deep into the hidden layers of your mind, helping you uncover the limiting beliefs that have shaped your reality. More importantly, you will learn how to dismantle them, rewrite your internal narrative, and finally step into the boundless potential that has been waiting for you all along. So, let's begin with the most important question. What beliefs have been quietly running your life without your permission? Where do limiting beliefs come from? No one is born with self-doubt. No one enters the world believing they are destined to fail, unworthy of love, or incapable of success. These ideas are not part of our DNA. They are learned. They are picked up from our families, culture, schools, and personal experiences, slowly shaping the way we see ourselves and the world. And the worst part? Most of them were never ours to begin with. Think back to your childhood. What messages did you absorb about money, success, relationships, and self-worth? Did you grow up in an environment where love had to be earned? Where money was always a struggle? Where failure was met with shame? Even if these messages were never spoken aloud, they were felt. And because the subconscious mind is highly impressionable during childhood, these experiences became the foundation of your belief system, whether they were true or not. For example, if a child constantly hears their parents say, "We can't afford that," they might internalize the belief that money is always scarce, that financial success is reserved for other people. Decades later, this same belief might manifest as an adult who undercharges for their work, avoids opportunities for financial growth, or feels guilty about earning more than their family did. They aren't consciously choosing to struggle. It's just what their subconscious mind believes is normal. Similarly, if a child grows up in a home where love is conditional, only given when they achieve something, behave a certain way, or meet someone else's expectations, they may carry the belief that they are never enough on their own. As an adult, this belief may lead to patterns of toxic relationships, people-pleasing, or an inability to set boundaries. They may find themselves repeatedly attracted to partners who mirror that same conditional love, reinforcing a cycle they don't even realize they are caught in. And then there's society, the quiet, relentless force that shapes our perceptions without us even noticing. We are constantly bombarded with messages about what success should look like, who we are allowed to be, and what is deemed possible for us based on factors like race, gender, background, or education. These messages don't just exist outside of us. They sink into our subconscious, subtly influencing our choices and self-perception. But here's what no one tells you. A belief is just a thought you have repeated enough times that it becomes automatic, which means you can unlearn it. You can rewrite the program. You can choose a new belief that serves you rather than limits you. The hidden ways limiting beliefs. Control your life. Most people think of beliefs as abstract ideas, but in reality, they are deeply embedded in every part of our lives. Your beliefs shape your decisions. If you believe success requires struggle, you might unknowingly reject easy opportunities because they don't feel right. If you believe love is painful, you might sabotage healthy relationships without realizing why. Self-worth. If you believe you're not good enough, you might shrink in the presence of opportunity, doubt your abilities, or accept less than you deserve. Habits and routines. If you believe money is hard to earn, you might subconsciously avoid wealth-building habits. If you believe health is out of your control, you might neglect your body. How you handle failure. If you believe failure is a sign of inadequacy, you might give up too soon. If you see failure as a stepping stone, you'll push forward. The bottom line? Your beliefs are writing the script of your life, whether you realize it or not. How to dismantle and replace limiting beliefs. If you're ready to break free from old mental programming, you need a structured approach to uncover, challenge, and replace your limiting beliefs. Here's how. 1. Identify the belief. Ask yourself, what do I believe about success, money, love, happiness, or my abilities? Write down any negative or limiting statements that come to mind. 2. Find the origin. Where did this belief come from? Did someone tell you this directly? Was it shaped by a past experience? Did you simply accept it without questioning? 3rd, challenge its truth. Is this belief absolutely true? Are there people who have proven this belief wrong? Could there be another way to see this? 4. Rewrite the story. Replace the limiting belief with an empowering one. Instead of, I'm not good enough, shift to I am constantly growing, and my worth is not defined by external factors. 5. Reprogram through repetition. The subconscious learns through repetition and emotion. Speak your new belief out loud, write it down daily, and surround yourself with people who reinforce it. The key to transformation isn't just knowing this, it's doing it consistently. Your subconscious mind won't change overnight, but every time you challenge an old belief, you weaken its grip on your life. And every time you reinforce a new belief, you move closer to the reality you deserve. Final thoughts. The life that awaits you beyond limiting beliefs. Imagine waking up every day without the weight of old fears and self-doubt. Imagine stepping into every opportunity with confidence, knowing you are fully capable and deserving. Imagine a life where you are free, not just from external limitations, but from the invisible walls of your own mind. That life is possible. And it starts the moment you decide to stop accepting the mental chains you never chose in the first place. So, I'll ask you again, what belief has been running your life without your permission? And are you ready to rewrite the story? Because the next chapter, it's yours to create. Chapter 4. The Science of Rewiring Your Mind for Success. Have you ever wondered why breaking old habits feels like an uphill battle? Why certain thought patterns seem impossible to escape? Or why success feels fleeting despite your best efforts? The answer doesn't lie in willpower alone. It lies in the deeply ingrained neural pathways of your brain. For decades, scientists believed that the brain was a rigid, unchanging organ, that once we reached adulthood, our thoughts, habits, and abilities were set in stone. But groundbreaking research in neuroscience has shattered that myth, proving instead that the brain is astonishingly malleable, capable of change at any age, capable of rewriting old patterns, and, most importantly, capable of being trained for success. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity, and it is the foundation of how we can rewire our minds to create the life we desire. But here's the catch. The same mechanism that allows you to reshape your brain for success is also the same mechanism that keeps you stuck in patterns of self-doubt, fear, and mediocrity. Every thought you think, every habit you repeat, and every belief you reinforce strengthens a neural pathway in your brain. If you've spent years telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," your brain has become wired to believe it, creating an automatic response that influences how you behave, how you react to challenges, and even the opportunities you allow yourself to see. The good news? You can change the wiring. You can dismantle the neural pathways that hold you back and replace them with those that propel you forward. But this process requires intentional effort. The brain doesn't change just because you wish it to. It changes because you repeatedly expose it to new patterns, forcing it to rewire and adapt. This chapter is about harnessing that power, understanding the science behind transformation, and equipping yourself with the tools to deliberately and permanently reprogram your brain for success. How your brain builds and reinforces thought patterns. To understand how to change your thoughts, you first need to understand how they are formed in the first place. Every time you have a thought, a network of neurons in your brain fires together, creating a neural pathway. The more you think that same thought, the stronger the connection between those neurons becomes. Over time, these connections become deeply ingrained, turning into automatic thought patterns that shape your behavior and perception of reality. Think of a well-worn hiking trail in a dense forest. The more people walk along a particular path, the more defined and easy to follow it becomes. Your thoughts work the same way. If you constantly think, "I'm not good at public speaking," that belief gets reinforced every time you avoid a speaking opportunity, feel anxious at the thought of presenting, or tell yourself, "You're just not a natural communicator." Your brain strengthens the neural connections around that belief, making it feel true, even though it's nothing more than a mental habit. On the other hand, if you intentionally introduce new thoughts, such as, "I am becoming a confident speaker," or "I am improving with every speech I give," and pair those thoughts with consistent action, your brain begins to form new neural pathways. At first, these new pathways feel weak, just like an unmarked trail in a forest. But with repetition and reinforcement, they grow stronger, eventually replacing the old limiting pathways that once held you back. This is why change feels difficult at first. It's not because you are incapable, but because your brain is wired for the familiar. Why repetition and emotion are the keys to rewiring your brain. Simply thinking a positive thought once or twice won't rewire your brain. Your subconscious mind only accepts beliefs that are repeated frequently and charged with emotion. This is why you can logically tell yourself that you deserve success, yet still feel undeserving deep down. The emotional weight of past failures, fears, or ingrained self-doubt can override logic, keeping old patterns alive. Neuroscientists have discovered that strong emotional experiences create the deepest neural imprints. This is why you vividly remember traumatic moments from years ago, but might struggle to recall what you ate for lunch last week. Emotion cements neural pathways, making them easier to recall and harder to overwrite. However, this also means that if you want to rewire your mind, you must pair new beliefs with strong emotional experiences. For example, if you want to instill a belief that you are a capable and confident leader, simply repeating, "I am a leader," won't be enough. You need to feel what it's like to lead, visualizing yourself confidently making decisions, recalling moments when you demonstrated leadership, or even deliberately putting yourself in situations that reinforce that identity. The more emotionally charged the experience, the faster your brain rewires itself to accept the new belief. Practical techniques to rewire your mind for success. Now that you understand the science behind rewiring your brain, it's time to put that knowledge into action. The following techniques are proven to reshape neural pathways, helping you replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones and create lasting transformation. 1. Affirmations with emotion and action. Affirmations alone don't work unless they are felt and reinforced through action. Instead of mechanically saying, "I am confident," create an experience around it. Stand up tall, visualize moments when you felt confident, and take actions that align with that belief. 2. Visualization and mental rehearsal. Your brain cannot distinguish between reality and vividly imagined experiences. By mentally rehearsing the success you desire, you activate the same neural pathways that would be used if the experience were real. Elite athletes and top performers use this technique to enhance their abilities and program their minds for success. 3. Breaking the pattern with conscious interruption. Every time you catch yourself falling into an old thought pattern, interrupt it. Physically shake it off. Say, "cancel" out loud, or immediately replace it with a new, empowering thought. This forces your brain to weaken the old neural pathway and strengthens the new one. 4. Surrounding yourself with reinforcing environments. Your external world influences your internal programming. If you want to rewire your mind for success, immerse yourself in environments, people, and media that reinforce the mindset you want to adopt. 5th, repetition, repetition, repetition. Change doesn't happen overnight. Just as it took years to develop your current mental patterns, rewiring your mind for success requires daily repetition. Commit to consistently reinforcing your new beliefs until they become automatic. The power of patience. Transformation takes time. Rewiring your brain is not a one-time event. It is a process. Just as it takes time for a muscle to grow through repeated exercise, it takes time for neural pathways to strengthen through repeated thought and action. This is where most people give up. They expect immediate change, and when they don't see instant results, they assume it isn't working. But just because you can't see the change happening doesn't mean it isn't happening. The key is persistence. If you consistently reinforce new thought patterns one day without even realizing it, you will wake up and think differently, react differently, and make decisions differently. What once felt unnatural will become effortless. The person you once struggled to become will simply be who you are. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what thought patterns have been ruling my life, and am I willing to take control and rewrite them? Because whether you choose to actively rewire your mind or let old patterns control you, one thing is certain: your brain is always being shaped. The only question is, who's doing the shaping? Chapter 5. The emotional blueprint of your thoughts. Our emotions are the architects of our inner world. Every thought we hold, every decision we make, and every action we take is woven into the fabric of our emotions. They are the silent yet powerful forces that shape our lives, influencing not only how we perceive reality, but also how we interact with it. Many people believe that thoughts alone dictate their experiences, but the truth is more profound. Thoughts and emotions are intertwined in a complex dance, each shaping the other in an endless cycle. If you've ever found yourself trapped in a loop of self-doubt, frustration, or fear, it's because these emotions reinforce the thoughts that create them. Understanding this dynamic is the first step toward reclaiming control over your life. When you master your emotions, you master your mind. When you master your mind, you master your reality. This chapter will take you deep into the connection between thoughts and emotions, revealing how negative emotions trap us in limiting thought patterns, how to break free from their grip, and how to harness the power of emotional intelligence to reshape your life. The connection between thoughts and emotions. To fully understand the power emotions hold over our thoughts, let's start with a simple yet profound truth. Emotions are not separate from thoughts. They are the feeling-based interpretations of our thoughts. Every time you experience an emotion, it is a direct response to a thought, whether you are consciously aware of that thought or not. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, hearing an unfamiliar sound. Your mind immediately generates a thought. Is there an intruder in my house? That thought triggers an emotional response. Fear. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and adrenaline floods your system. Now imagine hearing that same sound again, but this time, you remember you left a window open and the wind is blowing the blinds. Instantly, the thought shifts, and so does your emotional state. You relax. The fear dissipates. This illustrates a fundamental principle. Change your thoughts, and your emotions will follow. However, the reverse is also true. Your emotional state influences the kinds of thoughts you have. If you wake up already feeling anxious, you're more likely to interpret neutral or ambiguous situations as threats. If you're feeling joyful, you'll naturally gravitate toward thoughts that reinforce that joy. This feedback loop between thoughts and emotions is what shapes our long-term mental and emotional habits, ultimately defining the quality of our lives. How negative emotions reinforce negative thoughts. Negative emotions have a way of trapping us in repetitive thought patterns. When we feel angry, we dwell on things that justify our anger. When we feel unworthy, we focus on past failures. When we feel afraid, our mind scans for more reasons to be afraid. This is because our brain has evolved to prioritize survival over happiness. Negative emotions, especially those rooted in fear, signal potential threats, causing the brain to amplify and reinforce them. This is where the reticular activating system, RAS, comes into play, the neural network in your brain that filters incoming information, prioritizing what you focus on. If your dominant emotional state is frustration, your RAS will highlight every situation that justifies that frustration. You'll notice things going wrong more often, and your brain will find evidence that life is unfair. This creates a self-fulfilling cycle. Your emotions shape your thoughts. Your thoughts reinforce your emotions, and together, they sculpt your reality. But what if you could break this cycle? What if you could rewire your brain to experience more empowering emotions? The good news is that you can, and it starts with learning to manage and transform your emotional responses. Strategies to manage and transform. Negative emotions. Emotional mastery doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring negative emotions. It means understanding them, processing them, and ultimately transforming them into something constructive. The first step is emotional awareness, learning to recognize what you're feeling and why. Most people go through life reacting to emotions without examining them. The next time you feel overwhelmed by negativity, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling? What thought triggered this emotion? Is that thought absolutely true? More often than not, negative emotions are responses to thoughts that are distorted, exaggerated, or incomplete. Reframing those thoughts is key. If you're feeling discouraged because you think, "I'll never succeed," challenge that thought. Is that really true? Have I never succeeded at anything? What about all the times I overcame obstacles in the past? By questioning and reframing your thoughts, you begin shifting your emotional state. Another powerful strategy is changing your physiology, the way you move, breathe, and hold your body. Emotion is not just in the mind, it's in the body. If you sit slouched, breathe shallowly, and avoid eye contact, your brain registers that posture as low energy and low confidence. But if you stand tall, take deep breaths, and move with energy, your brain picks up on those signals and shifts your emotions accordingly. This is why physical movement, whether it's exercise, stretching, or even dancing, can instantly change your mood. Developing emotional intelligence. True emotional mastery comes from developing emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, regulate, and use emotions effectively. This involves 4 key skills: self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. Self-awareness means recognizing your emotions in real time. The more you practice identifying what you feel and why, the more control you gain over your responses. Self-regulation is the ability to manage emotions rather than being controlled by them. This means learning to pause before reacting, reframing negative thoughts, and choosing responses that align with your long-term well-being. Social awareness is the ability to understand the emotions of others, developing empathy, recognizing nonverbal cues, and responding in a way that strengthens connections. Relationship management is applying emotional intelligence in interactions, communicating effectively, resolving conflicts constructively, and fostering meaningful connections. The more emotionally intelligent you become, the easier it is to navigate challenges, build resilience, and create a life aligned with your highest potential. Final thoughts. Taking control of your emotional blueprint. Your emotions are not random. They are patterns that can be understood, reshaped, and directed toward a more empowering reality. By becoming aware of the connection between thoughts and emotions, breaking free from negative emotional cycles, and developing emotional intelligence, you can reprogram your mind to operate from a place of clarity, confidence, and purpose. Mastering your emotions isn't about eliminating negative feelings. It's about learning how to move through them with awareness and intention. When you take control of your emotional blueprint, you take control of your life. The next time you catch yourself in a cycle of negativity, remember, you are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. You have the power to shift your thoughts, redirect your focus, and step into a state of mind that supports your highest vision for yourself. This is the foundation for true mental mastery. This is how you create a life of abundance, peace, and success, not by fighting against negative emotions, but by learning to transform them into stepping stones for growth. Chapter 6. The Power of Visualization and Mental Rehearsal. From Olympic athletes to groundbreaking entrepreneurs, some of the most successful individuals in the world credit their achievements to a tool that has existed long before modern science began to understand its power: visualization. This practice, often underestimated, is not just about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It is a deliberate, structured process of mentally creating experiences before they manifest in reality. What if I told you that by closing your eyes and vividly imagining an outcome, you could significantly increase your chances of making it happen? What if the key to unlocking your full potential was not in external circumstances, but in how clearly and convincingly you could see yourself achieving your goals? The mind does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences, meaning that the thoughts and images you consistently focus on shape not only your beliefs, but also your physiological and behavioral responses. This is why mental rehearsal, consciously practicing success in your mind, can be just as powerful as real-world practice. In this chapter, we will explore why visualization works, how elite performers use it to their advantage, and how you can harness its power to rewire your brain, build unshakable confidence, and accelerate your success in any area of life. Why visualization works, backed by science. To fully appreciate the transformative power of visualization, we must first understand how the brain processes imagined experiences. Neuroscientific research has repeatedly shown that when we visualize an action, the same neural pathways that activate during actual performance also light up in the brain. This phenomenon, known as functional equivalence, means that to your brain, imagining an experience is nearly identical to physically engaging in it. Studies have demonstrated that athletes who mentally rehearse their sport show similar neural activity and muscular responses as those who physically practice. One famous experiment conducted at the University of Chicago had participants practice free throws in 3 different ways. One group physically practiced, another visualized making free throws without touching a basketball, and the third group did nothing. Remarkably, the visualization group improved almost as much as those who practiced physically. This suggests that mental imagery alone can strengthen neural pathways and improve performance. But visualization doesn't just affect skills. It also influences emotions, beliefs, and even physiological functions. Research has shown that guided mental imagery can reduce stress, accelerate healing, and even alter heart rate and immune responses. When you consistently visualize success, your brain begins to accept it as a probable reality, reinforcing confidence, motivation, and an internal drive to take aligned action. How elite performers use mental rehearsal. The highest achievers across various fields, sports, business, the arts, use mental rehearsal to refine their skills, build resilience, and prime themselves for success. Olympic champions like Michael Phelps and Simone Biles use visualization as a core component of their training. Phelps, for example, mentally rehearsed every detail of his races, how the water felt, the precise number of strokes, the sensation of his body moving flawlessly through each lap. This mental conditioning became so ingrained that when faced with real challenges, such as his goggles filling with water during an Olympic final, he remained unfazed because he had already rehearsed handling obstacles in his mind. Similarly, legendary golfer Jack Nicklaus stated that he never hit a shot without first picturing exactly how the ball would travel and land. Business leaders also leverage visualization to enhance decision-making and overcome challenges. Oprah Winfrey has spoken extensively about how she visualized her success long before it materialized, while Steve Jobs was known for using mental imagery to create Apple's innovative products before they were ever physically developed. The underlying principle remains the same across disciplines. What the mind consistently focuses on, it moves toward. When you repeatedly imagine success, not only do you program your brain to expect it, but you also train yourself to respond to situations with confidence and clarity. Step-by-step guide to effective visualizations. While visualization is powerful, not all mental imagery is equally effective. To harness its full potential, you must engage your senses, infuse your imagery with emotion, and create a structured practice. First, begin with a clear goal. What do you want to achieve? Whether it's mastering a skill, excelling in a career, or improving a personal habit, the more specific your visualization, the more powerful it will be. Next, enter a relaxed state. Your subconscious mind is most receptive when you are calm and free from distractions. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take deep breaths to ease into a meditative state. Now engage all your senses. Don't just see your success. Feel it, hear it, experience it, as if it is happening right now. If you're visualizing a public speech, imagine the warmth of the stage lights, the sound of the audience's applause, the feeling of confidence radiating through your body. The more sensory rich your imagery, the more real it becomes to your brain. Infuse your visualization with emotion. This is crucial. Emotion amplifies neural imprinting, making your mental images more impactful. Feel the excitement, the pride, the sense of accomplishment, as if your goal has already manifested. Finally, repeat your visualization consistently. Like physical training, mental rehearsal requires repetition to create lasting changes. Make it a daily practice, visualizing your goals with unwavering certainty until they feel inevitable. Guided visualization exercise. Let's put theory into practice with a guided visualization exercise. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment and exhale slowly. Feel your body relaxing with each breath. Now, bring to mind a goal you deeply desire. See yourself in the moment of achievement. If your goal is a career milestone, picture yourself receiving that promotion, shaking hands with colleagues who admire your hard work. If it's a personal victory, visualize yourself celebrating, feeling the joy of accomplishment. Notice every detail. What are you wearing? What is the expression on your face? What words are being spoken around you? Now amplify the emotion. Let the feeling of success flood your body. Smile as if it is happening right now. Feel gratitude for this moment, as if it has already arrived. Let this feeling sink into your subconscious, reinforcing the belief that this reality is yours. As you slowly bring awareness back to the present, carry this emotion with you. Open your eyes, knowing that what you just visualized is not a distant possibility, but a future you are actively creating. Visualization is not magic, nor is it a passive practice. It is a tool that primes your mind and body for success, but action must follow. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with the reality you want to create, you become an unstoppable force. The difference between those who use visualization effectively and those who dismiss it as fantasy is the commitment to follow through. By consistently rehearsing success in your mind, you train your brain to seek opportunities, overcome obstacles, and move with unwavering confidence toward your goals. The world's greatest achievers don't rely on luck. They create their reality first in their mind and then in their actions. Now it's your turn. Take this knowledge, apply it daily, and watch as your life begins to reflect the vision you hold for yourself. This is the power of visualization. This is the key to unlocking your full potential. Chapter 7. Affirmations and the Language of the Mind. Your mind is constantly absorbing and interpreting information, not just from the outside world, but from within. The words you say to yourself, the beliefs you hold, and the internal dialogue running through your thoughts every single day. The way you speak to yourself determines the way you see yourself, and the way you see yourself determines how you show up in the world. What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential wasn't in some external strategy or hidden knowledge, but in the language you use when you think about yourself, your abilities, and your future? What if, by changing the way you speak to yourself, you could shift your reality in ways you never imagined? This is the power of affirmations. Not just simple feel-good phrases, but a structured, science-backed method of rewiring your subconscious mind for success, confidence, and transformation. Words are powerful. They are instructions to the brain, shaping neural pathways and determining the lens through which you view reality. Whether you realize it or not, you are already using affirmations every single day. The question is, are they empowering you or limiting you? In this chapter, we will explore the impact of self-talk, how affirmations shape your subconscious programming, and how to craft powerful, life-changing affirmations that align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the future you want to create. The impact of self-talk on your life. The conversations you have with yourself are the most influential dialogues you will ever engage in. From the moment you wake up, your thoughts dictate the tone of your day. If your first thought in the morning is, "I'm so tired," today is going to be stressful, you are unconsciously instructing your brain to find proof that this is true. Your energy levels, your focus, and even your interactions with others will reflect this expectation. Now imagine if you woke up and affirmed, "I am energized and fully capable of handling today's challenges with ease." The shift in self-talk might seem small, but the impact is profound. Your subconscious mind does not question whether a statement is true or false. It simply accepts whatever you repeatedly tell it. This is why negative self-talk is so destructive. When you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," "I always mess things up," or "I'll never be successful," your brain reinforces these statements by filtering reality to match them. Your reticular activating system, RAS, the brain's filtering mechanism, scans the environment for confirmation of your beliefs. If you believe you're not good enough, you will subconsciously ignore positive feedback and highlight any perceived failures. But just as negative self-talk can limit you, positive affirmations can rewire your brain for confidence, success, and resilience. How affirmations shape your subconscious programming. To understand the true power of affirmations, you must first understand how your subconscious mind works. Unlike the conscious mind, which operates analytically and rationally, the subconscious mind is emotional, impressionable, and deeply habitual. It is the part of your mind responsible for automatic behaviors, deeply ingrained beliefs, and emotional responses. This is why simply thinking positive isn't enough. Your subconscious must be reprogrammed to believe in your success at a fundamental level. Affirmations work by repeatedly sending positive, empowering messages to your subconscious, gradually replacing old, limiting beliefs with new, expansive ones. When you say an affirmation with conviction and emotional intensity, your brain treats it as a command, strengthening neural pathways associated with that belief. Over time, the repeated reinforcement of affirmations rewires your thought patterns, making empowering beliefs your default state. This is why successful people across industries, from athletes to CEOs, use affirmations as a daily mental conditioning practice. They are not just repeating words, they are reshaping their identity, reinforcing their confidence, and aligning their subconscious mind with their goals. How to craft powerful affirmations. The human brain is one of the most extraordinary structures in existence, a dynamic and ever-evolving organ capable of incredible transformation. For centuries, scientists believed that once we reached adulthood, our brains became fixed, rigid structures incapable of change. This idea led many to believe that personality traits, habits, intelligence, and emotional responses were set in stone, limiting their perception of what was possible for personal growth. However, modern neuroscience has shattered this myth, revealing an astonishing truth. The brain is plastic, meaning it can change, adapt, and rewire itself at any stage of life. This ability, known as neuroplasticity, is one of the most powerful discoveries in psychology and neuroscience. It proves that no matter what thought patterns, beliefs, or habits you've developed over the years, they are not permanent. They can be altered, upgraded, and completely reprogrammed. Your mind is not a static entity. It is a work in progress, and you are the architect, how the brain adapts and changes. Every thought you think, every habit you repeat, and every experience you have leaves an imprint on your brain. Neurons, nerve cells in the brain, communicate through electrical and chemical signals, forming networks that shape your behaviors, emotions, and thought patterns. When you repeatedly think a certain way, neural pathways in your brain strengthen, making those thoughts more automatic. This is why habits, both good and bad, become ingrained. If you constantly dwell on self-doubt and fear, your brain strengthens the neural circuits associated with anxiety and negativity. On the other hand, if you consistently focus on confidence and success, your brain strengthens pathways that support resilience and self-belief. This process follows the principle of Hebb's law, which states, neurons that fire together, wire together. The more you engage in a particular thought or behavior, the stronger that neural connection becomes. But here's the exciting part. The brain is constantly remodeling itself. Just as you can strengthen a neural pathway, you can weaken and replace old patterns by consciously shifting your thoughts and behaviors. Neuroplasticity is the reason stroke patients can relearn how to walk and talk, even after losing function in parts of the brain. When one neural pathway is damaged, the brain finds new ways to route signals, proving that it is never too late to rewire the mind. If someone who has lost speech can rebuild neural pathways to regain communication, then consider the immense potential you have to reshape your own mind, to let go of limiting beliefs, and to create a new mental framework that aligns with the life you want. The question is no longer, can I change? But rather, how will I change? Breaking old thought patterns. Your brain thrives on efficiency. It seeks to conserve energy by relying on established patterns, which is why breaking old habits can feel difficult at first. If you have spent years thinking, I am not good enough, or success is hard for me, those pathways are deeply ingrained. But just because a road has been well traveled doesn't mean it is the only route available. The moment you begin questioning old beliefs, you disrupt their automatic nature, weakening the neural connections that support them. The first step to breaking old thought patterns is awareness. Many people operate on autopilot, reacting to situations based on deeply embedded mental scripts without realizing it. Start paying attention to the thoughts that arise in challenging situations. Do you immediately assume failure? Do you anticipate rejection before it even happens? Once you identify these habitual thought patterns, you can interrupt them. The key is pattern disruption, breaking the cycle of unconscious repetition. This can be done through simple yet effective techniques such as thought replacement, cognitive reframing, and mindfulness. For instance, instead of allowing your mind to spiral into negative self-talk, consciously replace the thought with an empowering one. If your brain says, I can't do this, pause and reframe it. I may not have mastered this yet, but I am learning and improving. This subtle shift forces your brain to build a new neural response. The more you do this, the weaker the old pathways become, and the stronger the new ones grow. Similarly, practicing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment without judgment, can help you detach from automatic negative thinking, giving you the space to choose a different response. Creating new neural pathways for success. If breaking old patterns is about deconstructing unhelpful neural circuits, then rewiring your brain for success is about constructing new, empowering ones. One of the most effective ways to do this is through repetition and reinforcement. Just as a musician perfects a song through consistent practice, you must repeatedly expose your brain to the thoughts and behaviors that align with your desired reality. This is where affirmations, visualization, and goal setting come into play, not as vague concepts, but as scientifically backed methods to reshape your neural wiring. When you visualize a successful outcome, your brain activates the same neural circuits as if you were physically experiencing it. This not only builds confidence, but also primes your brain to recognize opportunities that align with that vision. Pair this with emotionally charged affirmations, and you deepen the imprint of new beliefs. For instance, rather than simply saying, I am successful, evoke the feeling of success. Imagine the excitement, the pride, the gratitude, so that your brain fully absorbs the experience. The stronger the emotional connection, the faster the new neural pathways form. Another powerful technique is habit stacking, where you attach a new positive habit to an existing one. If you want to cultivate a success mindset, associate it with a daily routine. Repeat affirmations while brushing your teeth. Visualize your goals before sleeping, or practice gratitude before eating. By embedding new habits into established routines, you reinforce the new neural pathways with greater efficiency. The role of meditation and mindfulness in rewiring the brain. Meditation is one of the most potent tools for neuroplasticity. Studies have shown that regular meditation increases gray matter in areas of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, decision-making, and cognitive flexibility. It also reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, making it easier to break free from stress-driven patterns. Meditation strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with conscious thought, allowing you to make deliberate choices rather than reacting impulsively. This means that with regular practice, meditation literally reshapes your brain to be calmer, more focused, and more resilient. Mindfulness, a practice closely linked to meditation, involves observing your thoughts without attachment or judgment. When you become mindful of a negative thought, rather than getting lost in it, you take away its power. Instead of saying, "I always fail," mindfulness allows you to notice the thought without believing it. Over time, this detachment weakens the neural pathways of limiting beliefs, replacing them with more constructive ones. Neuroplasticity proves that you are not a prisoner of your past, your habits, or your old ways of thinking. Your brain is constantly changing, and you have the power to direct that change. By consciously disrupting limiting thought patterns, reinforcing new neural pathways, and engaging in practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations, you can rewire your mind for success, happiness, and resilience. This is not an overnight process. It requires commitment, repetition, and patience. But the more you invest in reshaping your mental framework, the more effortless transformation becomes. Imagine looking back a year from now and realizing that the doubts that once held you back no longer have power over you. Imagine stepping into challenges with confidence because you have rewired your mind to seek solutions rather than fear obstacles. This is not wishful thinking. It is science, and it is within your reach. The only question is, are you ready to take control of your mind and reshape your reality? Because the power to do so has been in your hands all along. Chapter 9. The Science of Energy and Thought Frequency. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and spiritual teachers have spoken about the energy of thoughts. The idea that our mental and emotional states create vibrations that shape our experiences. For a long time, this was seen as abstract, almost mystical. But modern science has begun to validate what ancient wisdom has always suggested. Everything in the universe, including your thoughts, emotions, and physical body, operates at a specific frequency. Your thoughts are not just fleeting, intangible experiences. They are powerful energy signals that interact with the world around you, influencing your reality in ways you may not have realized. The law of vibration and how energy affects reality. At the core of everything lies energy. The chair you sit on, the air you breathe, and the emotions you feel are all composed of vibrating particles. This is a fundamental principle of quantum physics. Everything vibrates at a specific frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. The law of vibration states that nothing is truly static. All matter and energy are constantly in motion, resonating at different frequencies. When you understand this principle, you begin to see how your internal state, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs sends out signals that affect not just your personal experiences, but also the people and circumstances that enter your life. When you experience emotions like joy, gratitude, or love, your body and brain generate high-frequency vibrations. These states are not just psychological. They create physiological changes, such as the release of serotonin and dopamine, which enhance your well-being. In contrast, emotions such as fear, anger, and doubt produce low-frequency vibrations, triggering stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This shift affects your nervous system, immune response, and even your ability to think clearly. If you've ever noticed that when you're in a negative mood, everything seems to go wrong, It's not just coincidence, it's resonance. You are unconsciously aligning yourself with experiences that match your frequency. Scientific studies on heart-brain coherence further demonstrate this concept. The heart emits an electromagnetic field that extends several feet around your body, and its rhythm shifts based on your emotional state. When you feel gratitude or appreciation, your heart's rhythm becomes smooth and harmonious, positively influencing brain function and overall health. This is why people who practice mindfulness, gratitude, and positive thinking often report experiencing more synchronistic events, opportunities and encounters that seem almost magically aligned with their desires. Their internal frequency is attuned to receiving positivity, aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions. If thoughts emit energy and attract similar frequencies, the key to changing your life lies in aligning your mental, emotional, and behavioral states with what you wish to experience. It's not enough to simply think positively. You must feel the emotions associated with those thoughts and act in accordance with them. Many people struggle with the law of attraction because they focus solely on visualizing their desires without shifting their underlying energy. You cannot simply affirm, "I am wealthy," while internally feeling scarcity and expecting abundance to flow into your life. The universe responds to your predominant vibrational state, not just the words you say. To truly align with success, happiness, or any desired outcome, you must first become emotionally and energetically compatible with that outcome. This means identifying the emotional state you believe that goal will bring, whether it's confidence, freedom, joy, or love, and cultivating that state now, rather than waiting for external circumstances to validate it. If you desire success, start embodying the emotions of a successful person today. If you seek love, radiate love towards yourself and others before expecting it to arrive externally. The more you internalize the frequency of what you seek, the more naturally you attract experiences that match it. Practical techniques to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions include gratitude practices, emotional embodiment exercises, and visualization techniques that evoke deep emotional engagement. For instance, if you want to experience greater confidence, don't just say affirmations. Close your eyes and vividly imagine a moment where you feel completely self-assured. Engage all your senses. Hear the sound of your voice. Feel the energy in your body. See yourself walking with poise. The stronger the emotional charge, the more your brain and body synchronize with that frequency, making it easier to maintain in real life. Overcoming doubt and resistance. One of the biggest obstacles to maintaining a high frequency is resistance. The mental and emotional blocks that keep you tethered to old patterns. Doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs act like static interference, disrupting your energetic alignment. If you've ever tried to change your mindset, but felt like an invisible force was pulling you back into negativity, that's resistance at play. Resistance often stems from subconscious programming, deeply ingrained beliefs that contradict your conscious desires. For example, if you were raised in an environment where money was associated with struggle, you may consciously want financial success, but subconsciously believe that wealth is difficult to attain. This creates an energetic mismatch, causing frustration when things don't manifest as expected. To dissolve resistance, you must first identify and acknowledge it. Pay attention to your internal dialogue. What doubts arise when you set a big goal? What emotions surface when you imagine achieving it? Instead of suppressing negative thoughts, observe them objectively. Challenge them by asking, "Is this belief absolutely true?" Often, these fears are based on outdated experiences rather than current reality. Another powerful way to overcome resistance is through emotional release techniques such as EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, breathwork, or journaling. These methods help process suppressed emotions, allowing you to move past old energetic blockages. Additionally, raising your overall emotional baseline through gratitude, meditation, and surrounding yourself with high-frequency influences, uplifting music, inspiring books, supportive people, gradually shifts your default vibration, making it easier to sustain positive alignment. How to raise your mental and emotional frequency. Raising your frequency is not a one-time event. It's a practice that requires daily commitment. The good news is that small, consistent shifts create exponential results over time. Here are several ways to elevate your mental and emotional energy. 1. Gratitude as a frequency booster. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational emotions you can cultivate. It immediately shifts your focus from lack to abundance, training your brain to seek out positive experiences. Keeping a daily gratitude journal where you list even the smallest things you appreciate rewires your mind for positivity. 2. The power of presence and mindfulness. Being fully present in the moment eliminates mental clutter, reducing stress and allowing your natural energy to flow freely. When you are mindful, you engage with life more deeply, appreciating each experience rather than dwelling on worries of the past or future. 3. Surrounding yourself with high-frequency stimuli. The people, environments, and media you expose yourself to influence your vibration. Spend time with uplifting individuals. Listen to music that inspires you, and consume content that elevates your mindset rather than reinforcing negativity. 4th, movement and breath work. Physical activity increases your energetic flow. Whether it's yoga, dancing, or even a simple walk in nature, moving your body helps release stagnant energy and raises your frequency. Conscious breathing exercises, such as deep belly breathing or alternate nostril breathing, also clear mental fog and restore balance. 5. Laughter and joyful activities. Laughter is an instant vibration lifter. Engaging in activities that bring you genuine joy, whether it's playing with a pet, creating art, or spending time with loved ones, keeps your energy elevated. Mastering your thoughts and energy is one of the most powerful things you can do to transform your reality. The more conscious you become of your internal state, the more deliberate you can be in shaping your experiences. Your frequency is like a magnet, constantly attracting people, situations, and opportunities that match it. The question isn't whether you have the power to shift your reality. You do. The real question is, are you willing to take responsibility for the energy you emit? Because the moment you do, life responds in extraordinary ways. Chapter 10. The Art of Letting Go and Trusting the Process. We live in a world obsessed with control. From an early age, we are taught that success is about planning, strategizing, and relentlessly pursuing our goals with unwavering determination. Society glorifies hard work and effort, often equating them with worthiness, as if the only way to manifest our desires is to force them into existence. But what if this mindset, instead of accelerating your progress, is actually creating resistance? What if the key to truly manifesting your ideal life isn't about gripping tighter, but about learning to let go? Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive or indifferent to your dreams. Instead, it is the art of releasing the mental and emotional resistance that blocks the flow of opportunities, success, and fulfillment into your life. The moment you stop desperately trying to control every outcome and start trusting the process, you open yourself to synchronicities, unexpected breakthroughs, and a reality far greater than anything you could have forced into existence. Why attachment to outcomes creates resistance. The human mind craves certainty. It finds comfort in predictability and struggles with the unknown. This is why we cling so tightly to our desired outcomes. We believe that the only way to feel safe and secure is to ensure that everything unfolds exactly as we envision. However, this attachment to specific results often has the opposite effect. Instead of bringing us closer to our goals, it creates anxiety, frustration, and resistance. When we are overly attached to an outcome, we send a powerful signal to the universe. I don't believe this is coming to me easily. I must control it because I don't trust the process. This energy of desperation and fear lowers our vibrational frequency, putting us in a state of lack rather than abundance. Think about the moments in your life when things seemed to flow effortlessly, when opportunities appeared out of nowhere, when relationships unfolded naturally, or when success felt almost inevitable. Now contrast that with the times when you felt stuck, when no matter how hard you tried, things just wouldn't work out. The difference isn't luck, it's alignment. When you are in a state of trust, you operate with ease, confidence, and an open heart. But when you are in a state of attachment, you operate from fear, anxiety, and a need for control. The more you resist, the more you push away the very thing you desire. Practicing detachment while staying focused. Detachment does not mean giving up on your dreams. It does not mean becoming indifferent or ceasing to take action. True detachment means maintaining a clear vision of what you desire while releasing the how and when it will manifest. It means taking inspired action without needing to micromanage every step of the journey. When you detach, you allow room for life to unfold in ways you may not have expected. Often, we become so fixated on a single pathway to success that we fail to see the infinite other possibilities available to us. By letting go of rigid expectations, we become receptive to opportunities that we never could have planned for ourselves. A practical way to cultivate detachment is through surrender affirmations. Instead of saying, "I must have this job," say, "I trust that the right career opportunity will come to me." Instead of saying, "I need this relationship to work," say, "I trust that the right people will enter and stay in my life." This subtle shift in language signals to your subconscious mind that you are open and allowing, rather than desperate and controlling. Another powerful practice is setting intentions without obsessing over the outcome. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust that in time it will flourish. The same principle applies to your manifestations. Set your intention, take aligned action, and trust that what is meant for you will come at the perfect time. Trusting your inner guidance and intuition. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with letting go is that they do not trust themselves. They rely heavily on external validation, seeking advice from others, following trends, or adhering to societal expectations rather than tuning into their own intuition. But deep within you, there is an inner guidance system that knows exactly what you need and when you need it. This inner wisdom speaks in whispers, in gut feelings, in moments of clarity that appear when you least expect them. The problem is that most people are too distracted, too overwhelmed with noise to hear it. Developing trust in your intuition requires stillness. It requires moments of silence where you disconnect from external influences and tune into your own inner knowing. Practices like meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature help quiet the mind, allowing you to recognize the subtle nudges of your intuition. The more you practice listening to yourself, the more you will notice that guidance comes effortlessly. You may feel an unexplainable urge to call someone, take a different route home, or pursue an unexpected opportunity. These are not coincidences. They are signs from the universe guiding you toward your highest path. Another essential aspect of trusting the process is recognizing that delays and obstacles are not punishments. They are redirections. Sometimes what we desire is not aligned with our highest good at a given moment. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as signs that something even better is on the way. When a door closes, trust that another will open, one that is even more aligned with your purpose and potential. Exercises to strengthen your trust in the process. 1. The what if reframe. When you catch yourself worrying about an outcome, pause and reframe the thought. Instead of, "What if this doesn't work out?" ask, What if this turns out better than I ever imagined? This simple shift in perspective rewires your brain to expect positive possibilities rather than fear-based scenarios. 2. The Let It Go ritual. Write down your biggest worries and burn or tear up the paper, symbolizing your willingness to release control. As you do this, say, I release this burden and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly for me. This practice helps you energetically detach from limiting thoughts. 3. Daily surrender affirmations. Repeat affirmations such as, I trust the timing of my life. I am exactly where I need to be. I release control and allow the universe to guide me. Saying these daily reprograms your subconscious mind to operate from faith rather than fear. 4. Acting as if. Instead of waiting for external validation, embody the feelings of trust and success today. Walk, talk, and make decisions as if you already know everything is working out in your favor. The more you embody trust, the more you align with that reality. Final thoughts. Let go and watch life unfold. Letting go is not about losing control. It's about shifting from forced action to inspired flow. It's about understanding that the universe is always working in your favor, even when things don't appear to be going your way. The more you trust, the more life opens up for you. The more you release, the more you receive. When you stop grasping, pushing, and forcing, you create space for miracles to unfold. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Chapter 11. Developing mental toughness and resilience. Life is unpredictable, no matter how carefully we plan, how meticulously we strategize, or how hard we work. There will always be moments when things don't go our way. Obstacles will appear, failures will happen, people will disappoint us, the unexpected will throw us off course. And yet, some individuals seem almost unshakable in the face of adversity. They rise above setbacks with unwavering determination, refuse to let challenges define them, and find a way to keep moving forward no matter what. These people aren't necessarily more talented, lucky, or privileged than others. What sets them apart is something deeper, something cultivated over time: mental toughness and resilience. At its core, mental toughness is the ability to persevere through difficulties, to maintain focus and confidence even when things seem to be falling apart. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to emerge from hardship even stronger than before. Together, these qualities form the foundation of an unbreakable mindset. They are the difference between those who crumble under pressure and those who use challenges as fuel for growth. But here's the most important truth. Mental toughness and resilience are not traits you are born with. They are skills you can develop. How to train your mind for adversity. One of the most powerful lessons in mental toughness is understanding that adversity is not the enemy. It is the training ground for growth. Every challenge you face, every setback you endure, is an opportunity to strengthen your inner resolve. Just as muscles grow through resistance and strain, the mind becomes stronger through facing and overcoming difficulties. The first step in training your mind for adversity is changing your perception of struggle. Instead of seeing obstacles as unfair burdens, see them as teachers. Instead of fearing failure, view it as feedback. Instead of avoiding discomfort, embrace it as a necessary step toward mastery. Developing mental toughness also requires mastering the art of emotional control. When faced with difficulty, most people allow their emotions to dictate their actions. Fear, frustration, or self-doubt take over, clouding their judgment and leading to impulsive decisions. But those with strong mental resilience have learned to manage their emotions rather than be controlled by them. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected by hardships. Rather, it means developing emotional discipline, the ability to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. One effective technique is the pause and reflect method. When confronted with a challenge, instead of reacting impulsively, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my long-term goals? This simple practice creates space between stimulus and response, allowing you to act with wisdom rather than react out of fear. The psychology of grit and perseverance. Grit is the fuel that keeps you going when motivation fades, when progress feels slow, and when the journey toward success is longer and harder than expected. It is the ability to push forward even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Psychologist Angela Duckworth, who has extensively studied grit, defines it as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. It is not just about working hard. It is about staying committed even when the initial excitement wears off, even when success feels out of reach. One of the most defining characteristics of gritty individuals is their ability to stay focused on the long game. Most people give up too soon because they expect instant results. They want success, but they are unwilling to endure the slow, often painful process of growth. Those with grit, however, understand that mastery takes time. They recognize that setbacks are part of the process, and that persistence is more important than perfection. A practical way to develop grit is through the one more principle. Whenever you feel like giving up, challenge yourself to do just one more. One more rep at the gym, one more page of writing, one more hour of effort. Over time, this habit builds an unshakable mindset that refuses to quit. Bouncing back from setbacks. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It is about responding to hardship in a way that makes you stronger rather than weaker. Every setback carries within it a hidden opportunity for growth, but only if you choose to see it that way. The key to bouncing back from failure is rewriting your internal narrative. Most people, when they fail, tell themselves disempowering stories. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. This always happens to me. These stories shape your reality, making it harder to recover from failure. But resilient individuals tell themselves different stories. They see failure not as a reflection of their worth, but as a stepping stone to success. They ask themselves empowering questions like, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What is the next best step I can take? Another crucial aspect of resilience is embracing imperfection. Many people struggle to recover from failure because they set unrealistic expectations for themselves. They believe they must be perfect, that they should never make mistakes, and that setbacks are signs of incompetence. This mindset makes failure unbearable because it feels like a personal indictment rather than a natural part of growth. Shifting to a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, allows you to view failure as feedback rather than finality. Daily habits of mentally strong people. Developing mental toughness and resilience is not about making dramatic changes overnight. It is about adopting daily habits that condition your mind to be stronger, more adaptable, and more unshakable. One of the most powerful habits is deliberate discomfort. This means regularly stepping outside of your comfort zone in small ways, taking cold showers, engaging in difficult conversations, challenging yourself physically or mentally. By consistently exposing yourself to discomfort, you train your brain to handle adversity with greater ease. Another critical habit is practicing gratitude in adversity. Most people only express gratitude when things are going well, but true mental toughness comes from finding gratitude even in difficult times. Each day, challenge yourself to find 3 things to be grateful for, even in the midst of challenges. This rewires your brain to focus on what is still within your control rather than what has gone wrong. Mentally strong individuals also have a non-negotiable self-care routine. They understand that resilience is not just about pushing through hardships, but also about maintaining their energy and well-being. They prioritize sleep, exercise, nutrition, and mindfulness, recognizing that a strong mind requires a strong body. They set clear boundaries, protecting their time and energy from negativity and distractions. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, challenge your resolve, and demand that you grow beyond what you once believed was possible. But every challenge carries within it the seed of transformation. Your job is not to avoid difficulties, but to face them with the mindset of a warrior, not one who fights with resistance, but one who embraces every battle as a chance to grow stronger. Mental toughness and resilience are not reserved for the few. They are within you, waiting to be cultivated. The more you train your mind, the more unshakable you become. And when you reach that point, no setback, no failure, no challenge will have the power to break you. Instead, every difficulty will become another chapter in your story of triumph. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. And when you develop true mental toughness, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand in your way. Chapter 12. Aligning mindset with purpose and action. The journey of transformation does not end with cultivating the right mindset. It must be followed by aligned action. The most powerful thoughts in the world mean little if they are not paired with purposeful movement in the direction of one's goals. Success, fulfillment, and lasting change are born at the intersection of belief and behavior, where what you think, feel, and envision translates into tangible results. Without action, a strong mindset remains potential energy, like a powerful engine idling without ever pressing the gas. This chapter is about ensuring that your internal world and external reality work in harmony, forging a direct pathway from your mind's deepest desires to the reality you experience. It's about bridging the gap between who you are and who you're becoming, not through wishful thinking, but through strategic, intentional effort. Clarity, defining what you really want. The first step toward aligning mindset with action is achieving absolute clarity on what you truly want. Many people live in a vague haze of aspirations, saying they want success, happiness, or a better life, but they have no concrete vision of what that actually looks like. A strong mindset without clarity is like a powerful ship without a destination. It may be capable of moving, but without direction, it will drift aimlessly. To align your actions with your highest potential, you must define precisely what you are working toward. This requires honest introspection. Ask yourself, what do I truly desire in my career, relationships, health, and personal growth? Push beyond superficial answers. If your goal is financial freedom, define exactly what that means. How much money, what kind of lifestyle, and what impact that wealth will have. If your goal is personal growth, clarify which aspects of yourself you want to improve and how that will manifest in your daily life. One powerful technique for gaining clarity is future pacing, a practice where you mentally place yourself 5 or 10 years ahead and describe in vivid detail the life you want to be living. Close your eyes and visualize a typical day in that ideal future. Where are you? Who are you with? What does your environment look like? What emotions do you experience? This exercise forces your subconscious mind to create a clear blueprint of your goals, making them more real and tangible. Once you have this clarity, break your vision down into specific, actionable goals that can be systematically pursued. Without clarity, action is scattered and ineffective. With clarity, every action has purpose. The power of goal setting and intentions. A powerful mindset thrives on structure. Without defined goals, even the strongest beliefs in positive thinking can become chaotic and unproductive. Goal setting transforms abstract desires into concrete, achievable milestones. The key to effective goal setting is alignment, ensuring that your goals are in harmony with your values, passions, and ultimate purpose, many people set goals that are based on external expectations rather than internal truth, which is why they struggle to stay committed. To create goals that truly inspire action, they must be meaningful to you. One of the most effective frameworks for goal setting is the SMART method, which ensures that each goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of saying, "I want to get in shape," a SMART goal would be, "I will lose 15 pounds and increase my muscle tone by following a structured workout plan 5 days a week for the next 3 months." Instead of saying, "I want to start a business," a SMART goal would be, "I will launch my online business within the next 6 months, generate my first $5,000 in revenue, and acquire 100 paying customers." The more specific and measurable the goal, the clearer the path to achieving it. However, goal setting alone is not enough. Goals must be anchored in powerful intentions. An intention is the emotional and psychological fuel behind the goal. It answers the question, "Why does this matter to me?" While goals provide structure, intentions provide meaning. For instance, if your goal is to improve your health, your intention might be, "I want to be in the best physical shape of my life so I can have the energy to pursue my passions, feel confident in my own skin, and set a positive example for my family." When setbacks arise, intentions act as the emotional foundation that keeps you committed. Creating aligned daily habits. Success is not the result of one massive effort. It is the outcome of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Your habits are the invisible force shaping your reality, and if they are not in alignment with your goals, progress will be impossible. One of the most effective ways to ensure that your mindset and actions are working together is to build a system of daily habits that automatically move you towards success. Start by identifying the keystone habits that will have the greatest impact on your goals. Keystone habits are high-leverage behaviors that create a ripple effect in multiple areas of life. For example, regular exercise is a keystone habit because it not only improves physical health, but also enhances mental clarity, discipline, and energy levels. Meditation is another keystone habit because it strengthens focus, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. Instead of trying to change everything at once, focus on developing a few core habits that create momentum. A powerful method for ensuring consistency is habit stacking, which involves linking new habits to existing routines. If you want to incorporate daily visualization, stack it onto something you already do, such as visualizing your goals while drinking your morning coffee. If you want to build a gratitude practice, incorporate it into your evening wind-down routine before bed. By integrating new habits into your existing lifestyle, they become automatic rather than forced. Equally important is tracking your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Keep a habit tracker, a journal, or a simple checklist to hold yourself accountable. When you see tangible evidence of your progress, motivation increases. Turning mindset into tangible results. Mindset work is meaningless without execution. The greatest thinkers in the world remain stagnant if they fail to act. The key to turning an empowered mindset into real-world success is taking immediate, consistent action, even when conditions are not perfect. Too many people wait until they feel ready, until they have more knowledge, more resources, or more confidence. The truth is, clarity comes from action, not the other way around. The more you take steps toward your goal, the clearer the path becomes. One of the biggest killers of progress is perfectionism. Many people hesitate to take action because they fear making mistakes. But in reality, mistakes are part of the learning process. The most successful individuals are those who are willing to take imperfect action, adjust as they go, and refine their approach through experience. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, adopt the mindset of ready, fire, aim. Take the shot, learn from the result, and adjust your aim accordingly. Another crucial element in turning mindset into results is resilience in execution. There will be days when motivation is low, when progress seems invisible, when external challenges make it tempting to give up. This is when mental toughness becomes essential. Instead of relying on fleeting motivation, cultivate discipline, the ability to act based on commitment rather than mood. Recognize that every action, no matter how small, compounds over time. Your mind is powerful beyond measure, but its true potential is only realized when it is paired with deliberate, focused action. Success is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in sync, you become an unstoppable force. Every belief you reinforce, every goal you pursue, and every habit you cultivate shapes the reality you experience. You are not a passive participant in life. You are its architect. Align your mindset with your purpose. Take action with unwavering intent, and watch as the life you once imagined becomes the life you actually live. Chapter 13. The role of gratitude and presence in reality shaping. The mind, powerful as it is, often becomes entangled in an endless loop of wanting more success, more happiness, more love, more recognition. While ambition and the desire for growth are natural, they can become a double-edged sword if not balanced with a profound appreciation for the present moment. Gratitude is the key to unlocking contentment while still striving for progress, and presence is the gateway to truly experiencing life rather than rushing through it. Without these two elements, even the most well-trained mind can fall into a cycle of dissatisfaction, always chasing the next milestone but never feeling fulfilled. In this chapter, we will explore the transformative power of gratitude, the science behind how it reshapes the mind, and the deep importance of cultivating presence in everyday life. When properly integrated, these two forces become the foundation for lasting happiness and a reality that is not just something we create, but something we genuinely enjoy living in. The science behind gratitude and happiness. Gratitude is not merely a pleasant sentiment. It is a powerful cognitive tool that rewires the brain for positivity, resilience, and long-term fulfillment. Neuroscientific studies have shown that practicing gratitude activates the dopaminergic and serotonergic pathways, the very circuits responsible for feelings of happiness, well-being, and motivation. When a person regularly engages in gratitude, their brain strengthens these neural connections, leading to sustained improvements in mood and mental health. Moreover, gratitude decreases the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, which means that individuals who actively express appreciation experience lower levels of anxiety and depression compared to those who focus primarily on what they lack. Perhaps one of the most fascinating findings in gratitude research is that it shifts the brain's default focus. The human brain is wired with a negativity bias, an evolutionary survival mechanism that makes it more attuned to threats and potential dangers. While this was beneficial in primitive times, it often leads modern individuals to dwell on problems, shortcomings, and perceived failures. However, when gratitude is practiced consistently, it retrains the brain to search for the positive rather than fixate on the negative. This is not about denying difficulties or pretending that problems don't exist. Rather, it is about actively choosing to anchor your perception in what is good, what is working, and what is worth appreciating. Over time, this simple mental shift creates a compounding effect, transforming the way one experiences reality. Why present moment awareness is key. In today's hyper-distracted world, most people spend the majority of their time either ruminating about the past or worrying about the future. The mind constantly replays old conversations, regrets missed opportunities, or anxiously projects worst-case scenarios into the future. The irony is that life itself is happening right now in the present moment, but few truly experience it. Presence is more than just being physically in a place. It is the practice of fully engaging with what is, rather than being mentally somewhere else. A life that lacks presence is one that is experienced on autopilot, moving from task to task, milestone to milestone, without ever stopping to absorb the richness of the now. The benefits of cultivating presence are profound. Mentally, it reduces anxiety and overthinking, allowing the mind to operate with clarity and focus. Emotionally, it deepens relationships because true presence makes people feel seen, heard, and valued. Physically, it reduces stress and tension because the body is no longer reacting to imagined threats, but instead existing in a state of peace. One of the most transformative aspects of presence is that it creates a deep sense of time abundance. Most people feel like time is slipping through their fingers, constantly rushing, constantly overwhelmed. However, the moment they learn to slow down and fully engage with the moment they are in, time expands. Tasks become less rushed. Conversations become richer. Even the most mundane experiences, drinking a cup of coffee, feeling the sun on the skin, listening to the sound of laughter, become deeply enjoyable when one is fully there to experience them. How to make gratitude a daily habit. While most people understand the importance of gratitude, few truly integrate it as a daily habit that actively shapes their mindset and reality. Practicing gratitude is not about occasionally saying thank you when something good happens. It is about developing a habit of consistently recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of life, even in the smallest of moments. There are several effective techniques for making gratitude a natural part of everyday thought patterns. 1. Gratitude journaling. One of the most powerful ways to internalize gratitude is through writing. Every day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be big or small: a supportive friend, a delicious meal, a moment of laughter. The key is consistency. Over time, this simple practice rewires the brain to search for positivity automatically. 2. Verbal gratitude expression. Expressing gratitude verbally deepens its impact. Make it a habit to tell people why you appreciate them. Not only does this reinforce gratitude within yourself, but it also strengthens relationships and spreads positivity to others. 3. Mental reframing. When faced with challenges, train your mind to find something to be grateful for within the situation. This does not mean ignoring difficulties, but rather learning to extract lessons, growth, or hidden benefits from them. 4th, gratitude meditation. Spend a few moments each day in quiet reflection, visualizing everything you are grateful for. Feel the emotions that arise when you focus on these blessings, allowing gratitude to permeate your entire being. Guided gratitude exercise. To truly experience the power of gratitude firsthand, try this simple but profound exercise. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow yourself to settle into a state of stillness. Now, bring to mind 3 things you are grateful for. They can be people, experiences, opportunities, or even challenges that taught you something valuable. As you focus on each one, imagine it vividly. If it's a person, see their face, hear their voice, feel the warmth of their presence. If it's an experience, replay it in your mind, immersing yourself in the joy or meaning it brought you. Now, allow a deep sense of appreciation to expand within your heart. Let it grow, filling every part of your being. Sit with this feeling for a moment, letting gratitude become a state of pure presence. When you open your eyes, carry this energy into the rest of your day. Ultimately, gratitude and presence are not just practices. They are ways of being. They shift the foundation of how one experiences life, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. The most fulfilled people are not those who have the most, but those who deeply appreciate what they already have while remaining fully engaged in the present. Mastering gratitude does not mean abandoning ambition or ceasing to strive for more. Rather, it means learning to balance striving with savoring, to pursue growth while simultaneously recognizing the profound beauty of the now. Likewise, mastering presence does not mean ignoring the past or future. It means understanding that life only ever happens in the present moment, and that true peace is found in fully immersing oneself in it. When these two forces are integrated, reality itself shifts. No longer is happiness something that exists in the future, waiting to be attained. It becomes something that is available right now in every moment, in every breath, in every experience. The world does not have to change for you to experience joy. You simply have to tune into the joy that already exists, because it has always been there, waiting for you to notice. Chapter 14. Mastering Your Mind for Lifelong Success. The journey of mastering the mind is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process, a commitment to continuous self-awareness, growth, and refinement. Unlike external achievements, which can be fleeting, the mastery of your own thoughts, emotions, and perceptions becomes the foundation for lasting success and fulfillment. The true power of mental mastery lies in its ability to shape not only what you accomplish, but also how you experience your life along the way. This chapter will serve as a guide to sustaining the transformations you have made, ensuring that your progress is not temporary, but becomes an integrated part of your identity. We will explore how to maintain consistency in mental habits, create an environment that supports your highest self, and develop a mindset that allows you to navigate life's inevitable challenges with grace, resilience, and unwavering clarity. The continuous journey of mind mastery. Mastering your mind is not about reaching a final destination where you are free from challenges, self-doubt, or moments of struggle. Rather, it is about cultivating an internal environment where you can recognize and consciously respond to your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. There will be days when old fears creep back in, when negative thought patterns resurface, or when life throws unexpected obstacles your way. The difference, however, is that with mastery comes awareness. You no longer react impulsively or unconsciously. Instead, you develop the ability to observe your thoughts objectively, reframe them when necessary, and choose a response that aligns with your highest self. One of the greatest misconceptions about mindset work is that it is a temporary practice, something to be done only when seeking motivation or overcoming specific challenges. In reality, mental mastery is a lifelong commitment, much like physical health. Just as an athlete does not train for a few months and then expect to maintain peak performance without continued practice, your mind requires ongoing conditioning. This does not mean an exhausting, relentless pursuit of self-improvement, but rather a shift in perspective, an understanding that each day presents an opportunity to strengthen and refine your mental state. The true goal is not perfection, but progress. To be a little more self-aware today than you were yesterday, to respond with a little more patience, to navigate difficulties with a little more grace. How to stay consistent with your mental habits. Consistency is the key to ensuring that the powerful mindset shifts you have cultivated do not fade over time. Without consistent reinforcement, even the most profound insights can gradually lose their influence, and old patterns can creep back in. To make mental mastery a sustainable practice, it is essential to integrate habits that reinforce your progress on a daily basis. These habits should not feel like rigid obligations, but rather natural extensions of the person you are becoming. 1. Daily mental check-ins. Set aside a few moments each day to assess your mental state. Are your thoughts supporting your goals, or have you allowed negativity to take root? Are you focusing on solutions, or are you dwelling on problems? These small moments of self-reflection allow you to catch unhelpful patterns before they take hold. 2. Affirmations and visualization. Continue the practice of affirmations and visualization, not just as a tool for achieving goals, but as a means of reinforcing your self-concept. By repeatedly engaging with empowering self-talk and mental imagery, you train your mind to expect success, resilience, and fulfillment. 3. Journaling for self-awareness. Writing down your thoughts allows you to observe them more clearly. When challenges arise, journaling can help you dissect the situation, uncover hidden fears, and reframe limiting beliefs. Over time, this practice enhances emotional intelligence and strengthens your ability to consciously direct your mental state. 4. Meditation and mindfulness. The ability to quiet the mind and become fully present is one of the most valuable skills in mental mastery. Meditation does not have to be complex. It can be as simple as focusing on your breath for a few minutes each morning, or practicing deep awareness during everyday tasks. The key is to develop the ability to step outside of the mental noise and connect with the present moment. 5. Continuous learning and growth. The mind thrives on expansion. Make it a habit to feed your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and new perspectives. Read books, listen to podcasts, engage in meaningful conversations, and seek out experiences that challenge and stretch your way of thinking. Growth is not about accumulating information, but about applying wisdom in a way that enhances your reality. Creating a supportive environment. Your external environment plays a crucial role in sustaining your mindset. Even the most disciplined mind can be influenced by its surroundings, which is why it is essential to intentionally design an environment that nurtures your highest self. This includes both the physical spaces you inhabit and the people you surround yourself with. Curate your mental diet. Just as the body is shaped by the food it consumes, the mind is shaped by the information it absorbs. Be mindful of the content you engage with, what you read, watch, and listen to. Does it inspire and uplift you, or does it feed fear and doubt? Make a conscious effort to consume content that reinforces empowerment, resilience, and possibility. Surround yourself with growth-oriented individuals. The people you interact with regularly have a significant impact on your mindset. Seek out relationships that challenge and inspire you, and limit exposure to negativity or environments that drain your energy. Your circle should reflect the values, ambitions, and mindset you wish to embody. Design a space that fuels focus and inspiration. Your physical surroundings influence your mental clarity and motivation. Whether it's your workspace, home, or personal retreat, ensure that your environment is organized, uplifting, and conducive to creativity and focus. Small adjustments, such as decluttering, adding elements of nature, or incorporating meaningful reminders of your goals, can enhance mental clarity and emotional well-being. Mastering your mind is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. When you take full ownership of your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions, you gain control over how you experience life. Success, fulfillment, and happiness are no longer things that you chase. They become the natural byproducts of the person you have become. Every challenge you face becomes an opportunity for growth. Every setback a lesson, and every moment an invitation to deepen your connection with the present. If there is one truth to hold on to as you move forward, it is this: you are not a passive observer in your reality. You are its creator. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, every action you take is shaping the life you experience. The power to shift your reality is not found in external circumstances, but within your own mind. When you master your thoughts, you master your destiny. So as you step into the next chapter of your life, remember that the journey of self-mastery is not about achieving perfection. It is about showing up every day with the intention to think better, to feel deeper, to grow wiser, and to live more fully. You already have everything you need within you. The only question is, will you choose to use it?